At 2 months old, they're bigger, they're grabbers, and they're discoverers. Today, we are talking about your baby at 8 weeks old, which is 2 months. Around this age, you are going to notice your baby has discovered their hands and they're so interested in it. It is so cute to watch them do that. You may notice them putting their whole hands and fists into their mouth, gnawing in their hands. You may actually think they're about to teeth, but that's just a whole fascination and discovery of their hands. You will also notice them grabbing more and having a really tight hold on things. So they start to grab your hair and strands and fingers and hold them really tight. And that's also because they discover their fingers and their hands and they know how to grab. So they're going to hold things really tight and you may not be able to get out the grip sometimes. The social smile, which is a smile that develops within the 5 to 6 weeks initially, which is a bit like transient, is more purposeful now. You tend to see it more with your voice and familiar voices around them, and they tend to smile more throughout the day. If you had not noticed this before, you will also start noticing their poop has slowed and tend to space out by days. This is because their intestine and whole system is getting mature and they're learning to space out. So some babies might go once a day, some might go twice a day, but some others may skip a couple of days, even up to 5 to 7 days. As long as you're tolerating their feeds, as long as their belly is nice and soft, I wouldn't want you to worry about that. One way you can try to stimulate poop naturally if you're concerned about them is to do some belly massages, which is where you go around in corners, around in circles, around their belly, just to help stimulate the intestines to go and have a bowel movement for you. Tummy time is also getting more interesting, more interactive. One, they're able to raise their head up and hold it a little bit longer than they could before. And they can also reach and grab things more. Remember I say they're grabbers. So this is when to consider having more interactive toys around them, things that are safe, so that way they can reach and hold and pull, things that are noisy and colorful that you know they're going to enjoy. In the same realm, some babies are actually able to roll or start rolling at this time. So while they're doing tummy time and you're observing them, some might be able to roll. So make sure that things around them that they roll to are still safe, anything within arm's reach or anything, because babies are curious and continue to explore. You want to make sure that when they roll, things that are around them are safe enough for them to play with and not having any small pieces. If your baby is starting to roll, this is also when we recommend to consider discontinuing swaddling. The reason is your baby is able to roll from their back to their belly. It's okay to let them sleep that way, but if they're swaddled and they're trying to roll back again, it makes it very difficult for them to move because their hands are tied. So I want you to consider, especially with the blanket swaddling, you can consider stopping swaddling at that time just for safety reasons. I know a lot of people ask, when I stop swaddling, my baby might not be cozy enough to sleep. This is when you can consider transitioning to a sleep sack, because that way they can still move their hands inside the sack, but that way they're not tied down. They don't have a whole blanket around them. So you don't need to swaddle them, but you can consider safe options and safe sleep sacks, and they can continue sleeping with that. At 2 months, you are also getting ready for baby's second visit, which is also very exciting for the doctors. We get to see these babies, see how much they've changed, what questions you guys have. So you should be getting ready for your baby's second appointment if you haven't done that already. During the second month visit, they are going to be weighed as usual just to make sure they're growing well and trending well along their curve. But they're also going to be getting another set of vaccination shots are always very difficult for parents to watch, especially because they're not just getting one, they probably be getting 4 depending on what location you are. Your baby might be getting 4 vaccinations at 2 month visit. You can plan ahead and go with someone if that makes it easier for you. Also, don't forget to talk with your doctor and let them know what you're anxious about and let them discuss all the vaccines with you as well before they get the shots. After these vaccinations, it is possible that your baby might be fussy for a day or 2 afterwards and may also have a fever. So make sure you're discussing with your regular pediatrician before you leave what dose of acetaminophen, if they need to, are they supposed to receive, so that way you don't need it to call them again in the middle of the night. You want to have acetaminophen at home and also will know what dose based on your baby's weight they can get if they have a fever or remain fussy and uncomfortable. Massaging the location, a lot of TLC, giving them hugs might also be able to help them get through that post-vaccination fussiness or fevers. And finally, how are you doing? Whether you are the parent or a caregiver or a grandparent, how are you doing? Every new baby comes with a lot of transitions, joys and struggles and transitions. It's been 2 months. What are some questions you've had? What are some things that happened that were not what you really expected? I know we have a whole community of mothers or parents who've had this experience, and everyone's experience is different. I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comment section how this past 2 months have been, and you've had a parent who has questions or the experiences and things that did not really go as